On this episode of Real Estate on the Rocks, we're going to talk about the 4 things you shouldn't shell out cash for anymore.
Welcome to Real Estate on the Rocks, where you get top shelf real estate conversations served straight up, never watered down. Here's your host, Dave Snowberger.
It's that time again. We're back in the studio, and we're going to talk about the 4 things you shouldn't shell out cash for anymore. I agree with all these. We can probably add to the list about 50 things you shouldn't shell out cash for anymore being an agent. Agents, for some reason, seem to be more and more I talk to are making themselves cash poor by being customers of the real estate business rather than business owners in the real estate business. They're under the illusion that they're owning their own business while they're putting themselves further into debt. But real quick, let's hop to it. I've got across me today, I've got the one and only Marshall Tucker.
Good morning. How are you doing?
How do you know it's morning?
Because it plays in the morning. It's supposed to play in the morning.
It's supposed to play.
It does play in the morning. It only plays in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's only published in the
when
morning.
When it gets released.
It's only published in the morning.
With that note, we're going to go ahead and bring in James the Butcher.
What's going on?
The Forget to Poster.
Chop, 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 chop.
I never forget.
Mendez.
I always remember.
You always remember. All right, man, come on. Let's quit BSing our listeners. They know us by now. They know why you have the name The Butcher. Anyway, so I want to go ahead and remind everybody real quick to smash that 5-star button. Subscribe to the podcast. Leave us some feedback if you would. We're trying to jump up in the rankings a little bit, and obviously bring in some more listeners. We're trying to broaden our topics a little bit. As you noticed, for those Real Estate on the Rocks loyal out there, we have switched to a Monday release. A Wednesday release
who's
only.
Forgetting now?
Yeah, who's forgetting now? A Wednesday release only. So 8 a.m. sharp every Wednesday for the rest of the year. For the next 52 weeks. James the Butcher will not screw this up.
I think it's less than 51, but I'll give you 52.
So go ahead and hit that 5-star button. Refer us to a friend. Get us out there. Help us, and we'll continue helping you. So let's get to it today. Let's talk about some things that people need to stop spending money on. They need to stop shelling out cash for. Marshall, what do you think? What's the number one on your list over there?
Custom branded closing gifts.
Okay, we've talked about this in the past, and
Do you have
we
an
think
example
it's
of
kind
that?
of going.
I'm actually kind of divided on even giving closing gifts.
I don't give them anymore, and if I do, they're really uber personal, like a picture or photo of their property.
It's pretty much client dependent now. If it was a great, easy, smooth sailing deal and we really got along great and I found out some personal things about you, I'll leave you a nice little gift or something. If it was a lot of pushback the whole time, a lot of not taking my advice and things like that, and it was a hard deal, I might not leave you anything, but
yeah, you might
it'd
just
be something
get the
smaller.
keys. That's the thing to me, is that it's really the keys of the cash, right? So if you're buying from us, you get the keys. That's the closing gift. I did my job, right? You don't see dentists and
other professionals. You go to the doctor.
Yeah,
Here's a bottle of wine, sir. Thank you for visiting me today.
Here
for my liver.
Here's a plastic dog heart. Here's a plastic heart with my logo on it. It's just kind of like, it doesn't make sense. It's
Or a pen.
like a dentist.
Use another pen.
Yeah,
The little stress balls.
yeah. I mean, those kind of things are fun to give out, but that's not a gift, right? And so,
No.
I mean, I can give out pins and I can give other things, but I would rather not. I stopped doing closing gifts a while back. I used to do the branded Yetis a while back, and because I fell into the whole trap that you can write the whole thing off as an advertising cost, but then I just realized it was almost a waste of money, because what do I do with my Yetis? Right?
Nothing.
I've got 10 of them or 15 of them sitting in the back room.
Take up space.
And every lender and every title company has given me one, right? And they just sit there, but I have my trusty green one that says Texas River Ranch on it, right? And that's the one I constantly use. And that's the one that goes on trips with me and everything else. And I'm not one of the guys that carries it around like you, James Mendez.
That's my name.
Mr. River City
Just in case I
Tile and
forget.
Remodel.
Hey, it has my name on it. It has our Snowberger Realty Group logo on it.
Yeah, that's sharp.
Yeah.
It does look sharp.
I drink it. I use it like all the time. Unless I really need coffee, then I use the Big Yeti. But this thing's perfect.
I'm not opposed to giving the gift out, like having something like that to hand to a client or something like that. So, but not as a gift of like, oh, here you go, you closed on your house. Here's a cup.
Right.
You know,
It's gotta be
here's a cutting
thoughtful
board.
or
This was
taste-
from a contest.
Did you say
which we like to do.
thoughtfuler?
thoughtful or tasteful.
Oh, I thought you said thoughtful.
So one of the things I do is sometimes when someone moves into a place, I know that they're not unpacked yet and they're not going to have something to eat, something
That's
to
a
cook
good
with.
idea. What
So
you do here is great.
what I do is we have a restaurant in Georgetown, and so if they're nearby and they're local, I'll just give them like a $20 or $50 gift certificate and slide it over to them, and that way, hey, dinner's on me tonight. Now, if you don't have a restaurant nearby, you can do pizza, anything else that they can just go by and get something quickly. Some other things that we've done is I found a guy who is actually, I'm trying to make him one of my clients, but he makes cutting boards. So I found a really cheap way of getting cutting boards, but without my logo or anything on there on that. It's, again, not so cheesy. If I can sometimes get like a little gift box for the house or something like,
See, that's what I thought you were doing was like a whole thing of like the supplies.
Yeah, we do supplies. So my
Okay.
wife, she does couponing. So sometimes we get crazy amounts of household items. So I'll get them a nice little wooden box from was that Ross or whatever, and then we'll just fill it up with all kinds of cool little things, and I'll leave that for him. I used to leave
Cool little things. Can you elaborate there?
just things that we walk around, like household type things, like little towels or cleaning
Stuff
products,
so they can
sponges,
immediately use
paper
when they're
towels,
moving in.
yeah,
Right.
especially cleaning products.
Okay.
So things for the house, and then I used to give wine and stuff like that, liquor, but now that's really client specific because I've given wine before to people who don't drink, and
Right.
it just gets kind of weird. Like, I'll just keep this then, you don't need it, but
Well, it's something to lay around because the one thing that I wanted to start doing was putting our brand on a logo on a label, and then putting that on the wine and handing those out as well, kind of for people
Right.
that refer us business all the time to give them something. But yeah, I mean, I said that was another pre-qualifying question when we're getting to know people through the
Find a
process.
way to work it in when you're
Right,
looking
yeah,
at
like,
home.
hey, so do you drink red, white, or pink wine?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, what do you drink? And some people are, I don't drink wine at all. I'm just a beer drinker. And now we can kind of take that middle node, or we can put that into our CRMs even and hold that information. So when it's time for an anniversary gift or things like that, I much rather give like anniversary gifts or
For birthdays-
client anniversary gifts.
for birthdays, what I do is I log on to a local theater that we have here called Flicks Brew House, and you just type their name in, type their email in, how much you want to spend, hit the go button, and it sends it right to their email. They take it on their phone and they can show it to the movie person there and get in.
Yeah, but you don't do that for everyone.
Not for
right?
everyone. It's if we're in the middle of a deal and you have a birthday coming up or something like that, or I just want to be top of mind with a certain person, then I'll send them that.
Right. And then the one we use lately is banner season. Banner season. We can drop a link once again. We drop the link periodically onto Hyperlocal Agents, our Facebook page. And, you can go in there and sign up. And I believe if you sign up under us, I don't think you get anything, and I don't think we get anything. It just tracks like that we have people coming in. So, but that one's pretty cool because I started playing with that over the holidays, and I was able to sit down and to my top A+ clients, sit there and do a branded card to them that was not branded from the company. It was just me and my family on it, right? And then I could do fun things like I did coffee cups for with their company brand on it, the R5 Ranch. I put their company brand on it, and I sent them a Christmas card, and that was pretty cool. And then I did coasters for like even my parents. I did coasters for where I put pictures of them, and then I put funny captions over their heads, just kind of making fun of them.
No, we got a lot of coffee cups at our house with
Yeah.
pictures on there. They're just hard to throw away. You don't throw them away unless they break. So
Jim McCord, he's been a guest on the show before, but he
Love
is
Jim.
big into the banner season, and I say that he is just crushing it in the real estate game because of banner season and his activities he does with that. He even uses it for prospecting, where you can send like an envelope with like the prospect's house on it, and then inside they could pull it out and it's a picture of their home or a card. He sent me all
That's
kinds of
powerful.
things, and that's when I jumped on board. When he sent me the coffee cup, he sent me the coasters, and he sent me a card, right? Banner season was really cool, but all that is a lot more personal than just giving something that has your name on it, And so I like that a whole lot. Something that the client can use without branding it with your crap on there, with your logo anymore, So
it's the last thing
like
they
that.
want to do at Thanksgiving dinner is pull out the cutting board with your face on it and set it at the table. Like,
Right.
Here you
It
go.
seems like you're too cheap to buy your own stuff in a sense, right? So,
even if it's a really nice one, just
yeah.
too cheap.
Okay. Well, moving on. That was number one. So number two is this one was a surprising one to discuss, and then do a little bit more research on. Was one of the biggest things to stop shelling on cash on is coaching. You know, one of the most expensive things you can buy is someone else's opinion, is what seems what's going on right now.
Oh, wow.
And there's all these little coaching groups out there that are making money off people that are, you know, really just sharing their opinions. Or it might not even be actionable stuff that would work, or it might be stuff that actually works for the people, but it would work for anybody, right? And that information is really typically free out there, right? And so what do you think about that?
I think you're right. I think there's a lot of free avenues to go. You can go to YouTube, or you can jump on a podcast, or you can load up an Audible, and, you know, the coaches had to get their ideas from somewhere as well, right? So you can find them just as easily. You just have to scout around for them.
Yeah, get yourself into a mastermind. You know, I know that we're starting a mastermind on hyper-local agents. You know, I know that Ryan Baker and some of those guys are going to join us with that stuff, and I look forward to that for the next year, you know, as making that commitment. And I don't want another coaching program. I've been involved with coaching, and it did help me out a little bit, and it helped me kind of shake off the cobwebs of what I was doing and give me more accountability. However, I found between the podcast and hyper-local agents and the groups that I can start, I don't need to shell out $1,000 anymore. You know, I used to shell out $2,400 a month in coaching.
I guess if you're making plenty of money, you can do that. But
right, and I would say that we were making plenty. And the whole thing with that was I was basically, with the coaching programs with me, and other people might find a benefit in this, is that it was the referral game, right? And I could justify spending $12,000 a year for one coaching program and $14,000 a year on the other coaching program if I could make $12,000 or $14,000 worth of commission back. Both times I did. And even one of the coaches that was one of my coaches has referred me numerous homes to sell, which is, you know, tripled the cost of the coaching program. And then my relationship with them is so good that I didn't need to stick into coaching. I still get the referrals. I actually just got a text a minute ago, and one of his guys in his organization, the coaching thing, sent me somebody the other day that's going to list an investment property with me, right? And so I'm still seeing residuals off that of being in the coaching. So I'm not 100% against coaching. However, there comes a point in time where you can take this and wean yourself off of the coaching teat and start doing things for yourself, right? And just reading and taking in more content, because that's the thing with having the intranet these days is all this information that everybody is giving that you're paying for, it's out there for free. There's nothing really proprietary that's anybody come up with that anybody has come up with that's a huge secret, right? Typically they're cultish in a sense, and I know that's a weird word, and people are like, "What are you talking about? I don't know, cult." You know, I mean, it's cultish. It means it's a huge organization that everybody follows and just does what the leader of that coaching program says. And I think you know which one I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, it's popping in my head right now.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like, you know, I don't want to slam them at all because I was a part of them. My coach was a 100% badass that brought a lot of things to the table to show me how to do. However, I think those were learned behaviors by him, being that he learned them through the other coaches in the organization and the other agents out there and other agents that were paying for the coaching, that were bringing things and feeding their coaches great ideas, and their coaches were turning around and giving them to other coaches, which were feeding them to coaching students. Does that make sense? So I just, I'm not 100% against coaching. However, people do need to start realizing that a lot of this information is out there for free, and it's all the same stuff pretty much, and all you have to do is put yourself into your action and be accountable to yourself, or be accountable to your why or your family, and you're going to have the same exact results.
Why not start off free first and see what you can learn, and then when you can't find, you know, any topics, what's interesting, you can find that coach.
And one of the things about the coaching programs is over there is you give them the why for free, right? I mean, this is the way coachings look at this stuff. We have a coaching program, by the way, and you know, I'm just kind of like, you know, but we give them the why for free, and we charge them for the how, right? So this is why you're going to do these things. Now I'm going to tell you how to do it. Pay me, right? And so, you know, if I wanted to pursue coaching at 100% and kind of give up being an agent, I'm pretty sure I could do that. Right, I'm pretty certain that I would have success in that realm, and I could take on 20 clients that paid $1,000 a month, and that's $20,000 a month, and I can hire a couple assistants and do whatever. And then I can grow that to 50, then I can grow that to 100. That sounds great. However, I don't want a job. That's why I fought this off, is because I would be locked down to my desk coaching clients from, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, from 10 in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon at 30 minutes a pop. That's a job. I wouldn't be able to travel like I do. I wouldn't be able to do the things that I want to do outside of work, outside of the office. I wouldn't be able to sit down and record podcasts or do the videos we do with Wilco Eats. I wouldn't be able to do a lot of these things. And so other people have accused me and my organization of saying like, oh, you know, are you afraid to move forward of being a coach? And it's just like, no, I just don't want an actual job. And that's what it's going to do is provide me a job.
I like that flexible schedule.
Yeah. And so, you know, the flexible schedule is great for us, you know, and then we do really truly have unlimited income potential as long as we're working in those hours and realize the flexible schedule is a dream without that income. Right. And so we have to do those things that we don't want to do when we don't want to do them to make the income, to be a little bit more flexible on the weekend and not have to do some open houses here and there, not have to rush into the office at 9 o'clock a.m. or we can knock off at 3 or 4 o'clock in the day if we've got all the work done and did all the things that we wanted to do. Right. So, all right, well, moving on. So referral leads. When I first read this, I really thought about you, Marshall, because you're huge in the referral game.
I know you looked at me and I was like, what?
When we left Keller Williams, it seemed to be a lot of referrals for the both of us pick sides. Right. And it seemed like,
I would say in the beginning,
you had your loyal people out there that would always refer you things that I'm seeing them back. Is that what you're saying?
When I was a little bit newer of an agent, the referrals are awesome. They're like manna from heaven. So you just take this person, go do this and collect a paycheck. And then I was paying out, 25, 30% on top of whatever splits I had. So it was like better than a lease, but not quite as good as getting the full thing. So now that we're prospecting and finding our own leads, we're getting a lot more money, and these are just kind of supplemental. They're no longer the focus of the day, right? But they're still important, I believe. So.
Right. I mean, because you had it on Easy Street. I mean, you were winning a referral a week.
Yeah.
And I mean, you did millions of dollars of sales last year. I'll just give you that, and a ton of it was from the referrals. And when we switched and left Keller Williams and we decided that EXP was a better opportunity for us to flourish. Like I said, you had built a really great group over there. Now you're building your group again.
Gotta
and now
rebuild.
you've done the whole Facebook page, the Marshall Tucker referral group. And I mean, I know I'm an admin in there, and we're going to start adding some people to that soon. But if you want to reach out to that, just friend up Marshall Tucker or myself if you're an agent, and you can't be in Austin, Texas with us. I'm sorry,
yeah, it's not going to work.
You can't be in Austin, Texas with us, or Georgetown, or Leander, or any of those places around here. That just doesn't work for referrals. That's really kind of the thing for us over here is to grow, but it's to grow that business back and really start one of those referral type of fan clubs where you can be there for these other agents and then they can be there for you.
Absolutely.
I saw one last night going on about...
I've seen it too.
Yeah, I've seen it too. I saw looking for an agent to refer business to in specifically Georgetown and Round Rock, and every agent mentioned in there didn't live in Georgetown or Round Rock, which you don't have to live there to sell real estate there. I do get that. However, if you're looking for the expert, which was, I believe the words, was an expert for those two areas, none of those people were there. However, you can't chime in and say that, Maybe other people do. Maybe people direct message them and say, hey, look.
I'm sure they do. There's some backstabbing stuff going on back in the day when I was doing referrals.
Yeah. Well, there's just people. I mean, there's one person in there that's got all of a sudden came from nowhere, I would say. I would always see our name get mentioned or my name or your name or go with David Marshall, whatever else. And now I see a few more newer names in there from some newer agents, and it's just kind of like, how do these folks?
They're listening to our podcast, man.
I guess so. I guess that works. Yeah. So yeah. I know that James, your girlfriend's decent in the referral world, isn't she?
She listens to our podcast, doesn't she?
James takes all of her secrets and gives them to her.
Yeah, no,
James is worried more
really
about
solid.
building her career than his own.
No, she's actually she's really good with the referral network with her partners around the country. They do a really good job. She wins out and beats a lot of the big teams, especially down south of the city.
Yeah. So that was the same thing with Marshall over here. I mean, there's people in our groups or these groups that I see that just talk about free tacos for life or free cookies or warm cookies and milk and whatever else. And it's just like,
I tell them all that money I'm going to save you.
You win. No, I just say, you win. I can't compete with free cookies and free tacos. Where I can compete is that I'm from the city of Austin. I've lived here all my life, and I know the real estate market like the back of my hand, and I know where I can find you homes for $500,000 with a view and whatever else, and get you in them a lot faster than somebody that doesn't know the city and is promising you tacos and whatever else. because that's the thing about Austin, Texas, is it's a huge transplant town to where, lots of people have moved here and got into the business because why? Yeah. The bar for entry is really low in real estate. Not saying that's a bad thing. That's exactly what I got into it for. Right. Mm-hmm. However, we see a lot of folks coming in and all of a sudden they have these gimmicky things going on and I just can't shut up about it. I'm bringing it on the podcast when I
what kind of tacos and how many?
Yeah.
How many are we talking about?
Yeah. From
they
where?
They still get
because
beat
if
out
you know
a bunch.
Austin or anything, like I don't want any standard tacos. I'm not looking for, tacos from Cabana. I'm looking for tacos from that's just one. Only one store is closing. But anyway. So referral leads. Touch on this a little bit more. How you need to wean off this addiction of referral leads, Marsh.
You just need to start prospecting more. You need to start finding your own and, referring your things out to other cities and not taking so many inbound referrals.
Right. So if you're grinding it out, you're doing the, things the old fashioned way, like we do over here at Snowberg Realty Group. We have the open houses. We do FISBOs. We don't necessarily do a lot of door knocking, but we do a ton of networking and we do a lot of our sphere of influence where we're reaching out to our clients and staying omnipresent in their heads and creating top of mind awareness, saying, look at me, look at me, look at me. When I talk about all the time, like, oh yeah, we kill it on Facebook. I'm not talking about Facebook ads.
Nope.
We've dabbled in some Facebook ads. Like I've always said, we play around with them. We get a little success with some engagement. However, we get a lot of stuff if we do boosts. We're boost stuff, and all of a sudden we get our sphere reaching out to us. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're surprised. It's been 4 years, 5 years.
They get more on the boost now than the targeted.
Yeah. Well, I think with the corrections that Facebook made, with their lawsuit to get with the government had against them, and some of the advertising things that they had to restrict themselves to, I don't know if the benefits are there anymore. Now, people that are selling this stuff tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. But once again, they're selling this stuff.
With Facebook, it goes back to the no like and trust factor. So you find someone on Facebook, you friend them up, you start commenting on some of their posts. They see your post, they start liking you, they see that you're the professional and other people are trusting you. And the next thing you know, they message you or they respond to yours. So
keep it 80-20. We talk about this all the time as we keep it 80-20 on that. And so right now I've got 2 things on my Facebook stories that are all about, list with ease and flexible fees. That's how you can do it with Snowberger Realty Group. And we have that. And then we have the guaranteed listing where we'll list your house and sell it guaranteed in 60 days, or we sell it for free. Right. And then we have different packages. We have a 3%, a 4%, a 5%, whatever, just 6%, a 7%. I mean, we've got a few different packages that we're playing with that we're going to tweak just to be more competitive in the market. Because if we're just being beat by discounters, I just showed you something on Hyperlocal Agents where I took a screenshot of me with a client that asked me for a discount. I said, I can't really do that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you everything I got. This is where the house is priced. I've got my work cut out for me selling it at this price. You only bought it a few years ago. Everything else. And then he interviewed another agent. I've sold a home for him before too. That was the kicker on this. And I've answered numerous real estate questions from the past couple of years as I scrolled back through the text. And he decided to go with another agent and just said that she gave me a point and she's going to list it for $450,000, $449,000, which, every comp in the neighborhood, the exact same house just sold for, $418,000. So
He'll be back.
I don't get it, but, that's the thing. He said he'd give her 30 days and he called me back, so I didn't burn the bridge,
I'll never burn a bridge. Learned that one.
Yeah. Where are we going from here?
Leverage.
Okay. Leverage is, that's a pretty overused buzzword. It's about as overused these days as disruption, right?
Right.
Disruption. What are there some buzzwords out there that are just overused?
Like won't last. It's got 180 days on the market, but all the description says won't last. Hot house.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Actually, somebody put out this list the other day, and I mean that thing was like 750 comments strong. People were pretty passionate about it. Like, I liked it. I was cracking up because a lot of the women were like, "Babe." Like that. I guess they don't like male agents calling them babe or hun.
Well, they want to be boss babes.
Right. So I was just cracking up at some of the responses. But go ahead and talk about that, and I'll try to find some of these responses real quick.
That's too funny. That's my favorite though. The won't last. It's gonna sell right away. Hot property on Zillow. 81 days on the market. 120. There's one that was had a great description.
We actually
124 days. Mm-hmm. I was like, what are you doing? Are you
back that
trying
out.
to not sell it?
We just saw one. Like I was like, why is this person posting won't last? And I look on there real quick, and I'm like,
in its
she's a
second
lender.
cycle.
She's a lender promoting someone's property, and was like, hey, hurry up, great property won't last. And I was just kind of cracking up. So I pulled the property real quick in the MLS before we walked in here, and it has been on the market for the first time 160 days and expired. Then another agent picked it up. They've been on the market for 60 days, 0 price reductions.
Oh.
They went original list price was $335, on the market right now $335. You know, and it's just kind of like, and it says real big, won't last. And it's just like, remove that. You're embarrassing yourself.
That's
you know,
crazy.
and you're not embarrassing yourself in front of the consumer. You're embarrassing yourself in front of your fellow agents.
Right.
You know, which I do hold the opinion of other agents around me at a high level, right? So I want to be respectful of everything that we say, and I want them to just be respectful of our marketing as well. So,
So to dig into leverage a little bit, back on topic, Dave used to tell me a long time ago, like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, I'm going to go change my oil. I like changing my oil. I changed my wife's oil. I save a little bit of money. It's not that hard. It only takes a couple hours." And he's like, "Well, why don't you just pay someone to do it? Just go down the thing, pay somebody to do it, and leverage it off your plate so you can get busy." Okay, cool. So the trap you got to be careful not to fall into is leveraging everything off and then not prospecting and going home and watching TV and sleeping and not actually converting those hours that you're saving into work.
right, you don't leverage your personal life,
Right.
right? So you don't get somebody to mow your yard.
So you didn't say that
So you
last
could
part.
sit
You were
and-
like, "Marshall, quit changing your oil, leverage that off," and you left off and do more prospecting. Because I was like, "Yeah, cool, I'll leverage it off, and now I got more time to watch TV."
Right. That's how, like right now, Nicole's trying to do the same thing with us. Is like, I'm just gonna clean the house myself, you know. And I'm like, why would you do that? You know, I mean, that takes place while we're not here, right? And so it gives you more time. She doesn't have to worry about work, right? She has pretty much set hours. She works in a corporate atmosphere, but I don't, you know. And the last thing I want to do on a Saturday when I'm doing whatever is I am leveraging my personal life a little bit because I don't want to spend 3 hours, 4 hours cleaning. And the thing is like I don't get the benefit of the luxury of sitting on the couch while she's working. Like she is not the one to let me go just sitting there staring at my phone or whatever I'm doing while she's like busting her hump. So I would rather just pay the money. And so it's kind of like, well, I just don't want to spend the money. And I'm like, well, it's our money for one, and two, like keep spending it because I don't like the way you get when you have to clean, right? And so I'd rather leverage that off of our plates. And so it happens while we're at work, you know. And so Thursdays we show up to a nice clean house. Nice. Thursday at 5 or 6 o'clock at night. It's always clean, beds made. We have this big grandioso bed. It drives me insane because that means now we got to move all the pillows, all the comforters, like all the crap off of it. And I hate when the cleaning person comes.
I
and
hate
makes
pillows
the bed.
that are not used.
Then she takes my shoes and she like stacks them like 15 high. Like I've got 4 pairs of boots and then I've got my running shoes. I've got like all my Vans. I've got
Why don't you have a
everything right
shelf?
there. And so I just keep them in the closet downstairs, and then she makes a wall, right?
That's her way of saying buy a shelf.
Yeah, she's always walling up my stuff, and then she's always like, she takes my stuff and cleans off my. We have obviously the 2 sinks, you know, but she takes my area and she completely cleans it and removes everything and puts everything in my medicine bag and sticks it under the counter. Like all Nicole's crap gets to stay up there, but she every time like tries to make me disappear. This lady does. You would never know I live there when she gets done. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, that was a little bit more on leverage than you needed to know. So, yeah, like I said at the beginning of the episode, is make this year 2020 about being more of a business and less of a customer to these things.
Be smarter.
Right? You know, is just be smarter with your time. Be smarter with your prospecting. Be smarter with the questions you ask. I mean, there's a lot of ways. I mean, if you're truly in the real estate business to own a business and start a business, you're the owner of your business regardless. Right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you're the owner of your business, whether you have a broker or not. You know, if you are the broker, you own your business. If you're an agent, you own your business. It's up to you. You know, unless your broker has, which I've yet to see. I'm sure there's brokers out there that have a great pool of business that are bringing free leads in and giving them to you. I don't see that anywhere. You know, I mean, I think Marshall's got his eye open to that. He's been looking for that for quite some time.
Hey, I missed it. Did y'all say it?
So
He's like, I can just come to work, pick up my free leads, and start to work.
You said it again. Free leads?
Yeah, I know, right?
there's no such thing as free leads.
Yeah.
And not in this business. And I mean, brokers have pretty much mastered. They're going to give you. We talked a week or two ago about like 100% brokerages.
Yeah.
You know, it's like where they're going to get you. They might give you the bigger upfront, but is when you can't procure your own business, they're going to whack you pretty hard. For
like,
that.
Don't worry, I got your back.
Right.
Here you go.
And they're not going to help you grow your business. They're really just going to take from you. So we had some talks about, you know, switching brokerages or whatever else, but like team models. Are you for a team? Are you against a team? You know, that was a big topic last week.
I think I'm for them.
You know, and so
They're all right.
I'm definitely for them. You know, and if you see the benefit in them, then I would think you would be for them.
Yeah,
if you
definitely.
don't see the benefit and you act like some of these veterans out here that were offering advice that, you know, that don't look like they're doing too well. And if I go to their Facebook pages, there's no mention of them being an agent. I mean, they're it must be so good that they don't have to really, you know, cast out there that they're an agent on social media or whatever else.
We do more together.
I've got some pretty bad opinions and some folks out there that are sharing their opinions, you know, and just it's not too helpful. And a lot of these questions, it's funny because I'm in that group, that new real estate agents group, and I rarely ever say anything. But lately I've been answering questions because I think the advice has been so poor. You know, and it's, once again, I know that it's my opinion. However, I'm trying to come from that perspective of like, man, I was a struggling agent. And if I would have gotten better advice, I would be in a different place in my career right now. My career is badass right now, you know, and things are great. You know, I like where I'm at. I like the amount of money we make. I like the amount of people we get to help and serve. You know, I really like everything about it. I like the avenues that it's afforded us with the podcast. And with some other projects that we have going on with Squirrel Farm Media and Relotus and you know, trying to pick the next direction we're going to go to. Residential real estate will always be a part of my team, and that's will always be something I do. But it can't be like this forever. You know, it can't be this low-hanging fruit that we have and we list properties and they go into contract immediately. Those days will end. You know, and so I'd love to have some other opinions on that. But, you know, what's it going to do when, you know, I mean, I went through this for a while where I was just beating on my chest with the ego and, I can sell anything, I can do anything. And then there's been some hiccups the past couple of years where our listing sat. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, crap. You know, I really need to learn how to dive deep and market and sell homes.
The market can tame anybody.
Yeah. And so, you know, it just kind of like shakes you a little bit when you're carrying 18 listings and none of them are selling, but you're still shelling out the same amount of money that you've been bringing in from the success, right? You've got more personal. You know, that's what this is all about. Yeah. So you're shelling out more money for more personal stuff. You're shelling out more money for coaching. You know, it's just kind of like, oh man, I've got a coaching payment. I've got a salary. You know, I've got salary positions in the business and everything else. And the only thing that makes money is if my listings sell and are bringing in more clients for my buyer's agents to work. And nothing was clicking. Nothing was clicking, you know. I ended up taking my butt to church and sitting down and doing some praying and just kind of like, please God, help me. Help me. You know?
I know we haven't talked much lately.
Yeah. So, you know, I just kind of, I learned a lesson from that. And that's the thing is if you can always take away a lesson, you know, if you can always learn these type of things and learn from some of the veterans out there that are very helpful. I don't like the veterans that are negative. That's what I guess I'm getting with that. I don't like this constant negativity, this constant black cloud they put over the business of just like doom and gloom. And it's just like, man, it doesn't have to be like that. However, you know, I like the veterans out there that are willing to extend their opinion that will be helpful to folks, right? Yeah. So that's where we always try to come from is contribution, help out a little bit more. I generally care that people are making it. 8 out of every 10 realtors fail. I heard another number the other day. I don't know how they come up with this, but 13. Oh, this was Russell Shaw. Russell Shaw said 13 out of 14 realtors fail in the first 2 years. That gets even more micro. Couldn't you just say 3 out of 4? So I don't know if like how people come up with these numbers, but out of 13 out of 14 realtors failed the first 2 years, you know, and it's because they don't want to do the things that are gonna, you know, these referrals aren't gonna be around forever. Zillow's changing their ways they do things. Zillow leads, in my opinion, don't work worth a shit in the first place. They work for a good handful of people that are always pumping them up and have good big spends. But to try to get into the game now after Zillow's been doing this for a while and already has all their preferred agents and everything else, it's a little bit harder to do. They will gladly take your money. They will gladly send you garbage for you to sit there and chase, you know? But if you do these things that are the tried and true things in the business, working, you know, open houses is probably the easiest thing people can do. You know, I always get a kick out of agents like, and I get it, you know, I just kind of, but like I get a kick when they're new to the business and like, can I do an open house with somebody to see how it goes? And it's just like, yeah, you know, that's great, but you don't need to. You just go in there, get that drunk monkey off your back, and know that people are going to come into this thing, and you don't have to be the professional that you think you have to be. And I guarantee you, whoever you're doing that open house with, more than likely is just as nervous as you when you're doing it. You know?
I say 99% of my open houses, I don't give any information
7 years
out.
later.
No one asks me anything. I give them how many beds it is, the square footage, and the kitchen's over there. And it's that.
No, they don't touch you with a 10-foot pole, man. Like people that come in an open house,
it's up
they
to
just
me. Ask questions.
Like they're afraid of salespeople. Like, don't sell me. Like you're gonna do something like they're gonna get buyer's remorse if they're like, yeah, we'll take it, you know, and then wake up the next day like, I can't believe I bought that house.
He's gonna talk me into it.
You know, he's gonna talk, and they get this weird. There's this weird vibe all the time with open houses, and it just doesn't need to be there. You know, but that's another conversation for another day. But you know, having conversations with for sale by owners, those are people that are raising their hands that want to immediately sell their homes that might not know an agent. They might not know the process. They might not know that it's overpriced or underpriced. They might not know these things. But the only way for you to know what they're thinking is to ask them the right questions. You call up and say, hey, why are you deciding to sell it by yourself? I mean, what a hassle. I know, I do it all the time. I work with sellers all the time, and man, it's tough to put a sign in the yard and put it out to the right people and get buyers over there and schedule showings and doing something. And you want to do all that stuff yourself? Yeah. You know, it keeps me busy 40 hours a week. I'm sure you have a full-time job, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. You know, I mean, that's for me, you know, it's just kind of like, but that's another show I want to do pretty soon, is do some scripts and some run-throughs on that stuff, and hyper-local agents, if we can get you guys to join and check that out. We're going to be sharing a whole lot more scripts, and, you know, we're going to have some opportunities for script practicing and role play and some mentoring and things like that. And it's going to be free of no charge. I mean, I just want to do more in this community of sharing, right? I just want to do more and put more content out there, you know, so that'll be a lot of fun. Door knocking is easy, you know, but it's just kind of that thing. Like everybody gets hung up on that. Nobody wants you to come to their door. Right. I've sold myself on it that nobody wants me to come to their door. However, I know someone like Steve Foll has zero problem walking up to a door and banging on it and saying, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, and Steve Foll, you know, the real estate broker, you know, and he does these things every day. And
it was almost like a magic act.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. It's absolutely cool. You know, and then obviously networking. Don't go to, I've talked to this in the past, like I like real estate events, James. I like them. Okay. It's not where I choose to spend my time all the time. If I was to choose between networking groups, I wouldn't go to a local real estate networking group. I would go to networking groups that revolve around small businesses. People like me, people that are maybe struggling to make ends meet and giving everything they have into into their business. You know, they're putting a lot of elbow grease and they're doing a lot of these things by themselves, and you know, they don't know how to market. I can share a ton on marketing. That's my expertise, right? Is marketing. And generating eyeballs, you know, I mean, that's what I do, is generate top of mind awareness and things like that. But there's so many other people out there in other positions that can teach me things. Right. Yeah. And so that's why I like to do those networking things versus I don't find a lot of value in hanging out with some agents that we all talk about the same thing locally. Now, if it was something from, you know, agents from all over Texas, I'd be there with bells on, you know, I'd identify who's killing it and I'd go penetrate their circle. Is that not the word? Infiltrate? I like penetrate better. Sure. Penetrate their circle and get into, you know, what they're talking about, right? And try to mastermind with them and talk like, hey, what are you guys doing here? You know, what are you guys doing over here? You know, just kind of like find out more about them. You know, and so that'd be a lot of cool stuff. And then really you that's the referrals you need to be after right there, right? Is so the big referrals from other agents that you can build trust with, get them to know, like, and trust you. Then they send their clients to you, right? Or their sellers to you. Like we've got one right now that's a seller, you know, that came in from a referral, and that's absolutely cool because he called me. He's like, since you came over, and I loved what he said. Since you came to me in a referral, like I'm not even going to shop other agents. Is that cool with you? Yeah. And I'm like, what am I supposed to say? Like, well, I don't know. I'd probably get 2 or 3 listing appointments going on, you know, and waste your time with that. No. Yeah, that's cool with me, you know, because anyway, you skin it. Yeah. I mean, I'm the best.
I mean, you sure you don't want to interview anyone else?
Anyway, man. Mike Harrell. Let's talk Mike Harrell real quick. Mike Harrell is with Guaranteed Rate. We absolutely love this guy. He has continued to be a huge resource for us in this business, and Guaranteed Rate has worked out great for a lot of our clients. Our customers turn clients and family members out there. I know that my family's used him personally. So we really appreciate that. I want to remind everybody once again to hit that 5-star button. Please share the episodes with your other friends out there. Join the group, Hyper Local Agents. And there's not much else I can think of.
Find me on Facebook. Join Marshall Tucker's Referral Network.
Yeah. Give me a friend request. Dave Snowrigger.
I'm out.
Don't friend up James. He'll just disappoint you.